Okay, so we just have a couple of first timers here. So for the benefit of that, I'll just go ahead and sort of share the flow for today. 100 plus. Yes, I know there's several of you who've been here for years. Yes, yes, yes. See all these 100 pluses coming through. All right, for this Malcolm and Carrie. Hello, buenas tardes. This is another European afternoon time. Welcome. So Sunday morning Java consists of three parts. So let's talk about that. First, we're going to do some chanting. Then we're going to follow it up with some pranayama, breathwork, powerful ancient wisdom. And then finally, we'll end all of this after your brain is settled, your body's prepared, your heart is open. Then we're going to do the deep end of the pool, which is the meditation. And today it's about friendships, betrayal, trust, and heartache that comes from relationships that you consider near and dear. We all go through that. There's ups and downs in these things, and sometimes those hurt us more than those people who are strangers to us, or people who we don't allow close to our heart space, into our inner circle. So, important topic. We're going to get into that. So, with that said, why don't we go ahead and start the practice? I want you to find that comfortable posture, whatever that means for you. You could be doing this practice seated, cross legged on the floor, or even lying down. Either which way, I ask that you find a nice alignment between your head, your neck, and your spine. And then take in some deep, comfortable breaths into the belly, in through the nostrils, and out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Ah. One more time, a long, slow, deep breath in. Ah, out through the mouth. Let's do this one more time. Long, slow, deep breath in through the nostrils. And letting it all out through the mouth. Ah. Breath is a powerful anchor. As you breathe like this consciously, relaxing your body, open yourself to the world as you're inhaling and ask yourself, what can I receive today? And as you're exhaling, eliminating, focus and ask yourself, closing yourself to the world, what can I create today? One more time. Inhale, relaxing, opening yourself to the world. What can I receive today? Holding it to the top of the lungs. And then as you eliminate, focus, closing yourself out of the world. What can I create today? Now, with this next inhalation, I want you to breathe deep into the abdomen, down to the pelvic floor. This is referred to as the Kundalini or the Muladhara chakra. This is the seat of safety. Breathe deep into this area, give it what it needs. And as you exhale, I want you to release it with the sound of Lam. Now, breathing into the sacral chakra, a couple of finger spaces below your navel. This is the seat of satisfaction, referred to as Swadhisthana. Breathing to this area, giving it what it needs, allowing it to expand. And as you exhale, I want you to release it to the sound of Vam. Now, breathing into the solar plexus, Manipura chakra, just below where the rib cage ends and the soft tissue begins. Breathing to say, giving it what it needs. This is your seat of confidence. And as you exhale, I want you to release it with the sound of rum. Rum. Now, breathing into your heart center, Anahata Chakra, the seat of the love that you are. Allowing this area to expand, giving it what it needs, nourishing it. And as you exhale, I want you to release it with the sound of yum. Yum. Now, breathing into your throat center, Vishuddha Chakra. This is the seat of the voice of the soul. Let your voice be heard. Let your story be told. Breathing into Sarah, giving it what it needs. And as you exhale, I want you to release it with the sound of hum. Hum. Now, breathing into the region of the third eye, the Ajna Chakra. This is the seat of the soul, seat of wisdom. Breathing into this area just below the brain, behind the eyes, below the brain, between the ears. This is the area that is the seat of wisdom, giving it what it needs. And as you exhale, you release it with the sound of sham. Sham. Now, the tippy top of the head, the Sahasrara, the portal to the divine. Breathe into this area, allowing to expand. And as we exhale, we'll release it with the primordial sound of the universe. Om. Together. Om. Dropping the practice and just noticing for yourself, how has this simple practice changed how I feel right now? These preparatory stages of Sunday Morning Joy with Jay send a signal to the brain and to the rest of the nervous system that is your time to rest and rejuvenate. Now, as we go into the second phase of Sunday Morning Joy with Jay, we'll do an ancient practice known as Bandha Pranayama. In this Bandha, which means lock, there are three stages of breathing. We're going to begin with something called bow breathing, 30 rounds of breathing in through the nostrils, out through the nostrils, in with relaxation, out with stress, followed by exhaling and holding, first for 30 seconds, second round, 60 seconds, and final round for 90 seconds. Progressively longer, and then we'll cap out each round with inhaling and with full lungs holding for just 15 seconds. These three constitute one set, progressively longer sets, three of them. Believe me, you can do it. Trust in yourself. Your body is going to tell you otherwise. Your brain is going to play games with you, but do your best to stay with the practice. Now, if you simply cannot hold, that's okay. Go ahead and let go and catch up with us in the next round. All right, with that said, I do the counting. You just follow along and do the breathing, starting with in through the nostrils, out through the nostrils, 30 rounds bow breathing. Let's go. In with relaxation, out with stress. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale and hold 30 seconds. Drop into the rhythm of your heartbeat. Can you feel your blood pulsating throughout your body? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 15 seconds hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, let go. A full cycle of breath in and out as we prepare for the second round of this Bandha Pranayama practice. And let's go ahead and do 30 rounds of bow breathing in through the nostrils, out through the nostrils. Go with the flow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale and hold 60 seconds. You can totally do this. Ask yourself, what am I extremely grateful for in my life right now? Can I make a list of at least 5 things? We have so many blessings, at least 5 things that I'm grateful for. We're almost there, folks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 15 seconds hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, let go. Full cycle of breath in and out as we prepare for the third and the final round of this Bandha Pranayama practice. Let's go ahead and 30 rounds of bow breathing together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale and hold 90 seconds. You can do this. Believe in yourself. Now I want you to feel the sensations in the soles of your feet, making your way to your heels and ankles. Feel your ankles up to the shins, the calf muscles. Feel your knees right now. Coming through the thighs, the quadriceps. Feel the largest muscle mass in your body, the buttocks. Making your way up the back, up the spine, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back. And let's work our way up the front, the stomach, the upper chest, and then the fingers through the palms, wrists, forearms, elbows, upper arms, the chest, the shoulders, the back of the neck. You're almost there, folks. The back of the head, the top of the head. Now your entire face. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 15 seconds, final stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Full cycle of breath. In and out as we reintegrate with normal breathing. And as you do so, I want you to notice what this practice has done for you. Notice the slower pace of thoughts in your mind, the ease of your breath, and the lightness you may be feeling in your entire body. This is the power of pranayama, the art of cultivating life energy. Now, with the body relaxed, the brain slowed down, the breath nice and deep and intentional. Let's go into the deep end of the pool, which is the guided meditation practice today. I have a very special topic which we all deal with at some point in our lives. That is friendship fractures. How to heal betrayal and growing apart. I invite you to gently let your eyelids drift close. The body relaxed, settled exactly where it is. There's no posture to perfect, no need for adjustments. Just use your breath to arrive. There is a verse from the ancient Sufi poet Hafiz that has stayed with me for many, many years. He said, "Ever since happiness heard your name, It has been running through the streets trying to find you. Think about that for a moment. Happiness running through the streets looking for you. And yet, here you are, sitting with a wound that came not from an enemy, not from a stranger, but from someone you loved, someone you trusted, someone who once felt like home. That's the great irony of friendship, isn't it? The people closest to your heart are the ones, really the only ones who can reach deep enough to break it. So let us sit with that today. Not to fix it, not to rush past it, but to honor it. Because anything that aches this much was once something that mattered this much. I want you to imagine right now that you are standing at the edge of a river. It's early morning. The light has not fully arrived. There's a mist hovering over the water, and the river is moving, as rivers do, gently, moving forward without an apology. And here you are standing on the bank, and in your hands you're holding something. It is not heavy, but it feels heavy. It is a bundle of memories, perhaps laughter, perhaps late night conversations, inside jokes no one else understood. The feeling of being seen, fully seen by another human being. And woven through all of that, the moment it changed. Maybe it was a single act, a betrayal so sharp it split your world into two. Or maybe it was slower than that, a drifting, a silence that stretched too long. Phone calls that stopped being returned. A growing distance you could feel but could not name. Whatever form it took, it left a mark. And here is what no one tells you about friendship wounds. They are amongst the most invisible griefs we carry. The world gives us rituals for romantic heartbreak, songs, movies, sympathy. But when a friendship fractures, you are often left standing alone, wondering why this ache has no name. So let me give it a name right now. It is sacred loss. It is sacred because anything built on genuine love, even love that later fell apart, was real. It counted. It shaped you. Now, still standing at the river's edge, I want you to do something quietly in the privacy of your own heart. I want you to let yourself see that friend's face, not the version of them that hurt you, not the version you have rehearsed arguments with at 2 in the morning, but the version you first loved, the one that made you laugh until your sides ached, the one who showed up when no one else did. See that face. And notice what happens in your chest. There may be warmth. There may be a sharp sting. Or they may be both at the same time. That's okay. Love and grief have always been neighbors. They share a wall. When you knock on one door, the other one often opens too. Now, I want you to ask yourself a question. Not something that you need to answer right away, but just to hold it like a lantern in the dark. The question is, what if this fracture was not a failure? What if this fracture was not a failure? What if some friendships are not meant to last a lifetime, but are meant to last exactly as long as they did? What if the purpose was never permanence? What if the purpose was transformation? There's an ancient teaching that says we suffer not because people leave, but because we cling to the version of reality where they were supposed to stay. Let that land for a moment. Now, gently, I want you to look down at the bundle of memories you've been holding on in your hands. All of it. The joy and the heartbreak, the trust and the betrayal, the closeness and the growing apart. And I want you to notice something you may have missed. Your hands. Your hands are still open. Even after everything, you did not want to clench your fists. You did not harden into stone. You are here in a meditation, seeking to heal. That tells me something beautiful about you. It tells me that your heart is still soft enough to feel. And a heart that can still feel can definitely love again. Now, slowly, very gently, I want you to kneel at the edge of the river. And I want you to place that bundle into the water. You do not have to throw it. You don't have to be dramatic about it. Just set it down on the surface and watch the river receive it. Watch it float. Watch the current carry it downstream. You are not erasing the memories. You are not pretending that nothing happened. You are simply releasing your grip on the pain. And as it drifts away, say silently to yourself, to that friend, wherever they are, you were real. We were real. And I release us both. Now let us anchor this healing with three affirmations. And as I speak each one, I want you to feel it directly in your heart. First, I am not defined by who stayed or who left. I am defined by the love that I am still willing to give. Second, I forgive not because of what happened and whether it was acceptable, but because carrying this weight is no longer acceptable to my soul. And third, every friendship that has touched my life, even the one that ended in silence, has carved me into who I am becoming. Now, as we bring this practice to a close, I want to leave you with a question, something to carry with you this week, like a companion walking beside you. The question is, if the truest friendships are the ones that teach you the most about yourself, what has this fracture been trying to teach you? Sit with that. There is no hurry. The river is still flowing. The mist is beginning to lift, and you are still here, whole, breathing beautifully, stubbornly alive. I want you to please bring your palms together at your heart center in a posture of gratitude and gently tuck your chin towards the heart space. And I want you to rub your palms against each other. The palms are an energy vortex, and as you rub them against each other, they activate the chi or the prana, the life energy. And when you feel a nice warm ball of energy welled up between your palms, I want you to cup your eyes, one with each palm, and bless yourself. I'm truly blessed. I am lucky. I'm fortunate. I attract wonderful people into my life. I attract great opportunities, amazing ideas. I attract love and I attract wealth. I'm guided by love. I give everywhere I go, even if it is only a smile. My abundance overflows to those around me. I love my life. I am the M in magic. I'm unstoppable. I attract wealth into my life at the intersection of light and matter. I attract wealth into my life as life giving life and life sustaining life. I attract wealth into my life as a manifestation of truth, goodness, and beauty in this world. Now bring your palms back together at your heart center. Let's seal this practice with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you for your courage to join me in this practice today, because healing a friendship wound in silence with no audience, no applause, just you and your tender heart, it's one of the bravest things you can do as a human being. I want you to carry that with you. Namaste. And as you open your eyes, as you come back into this environment, dropping your palms, I invite you to go ahead and summarize how you feel right now in one word. And if you could share that one word in the chat so we may all know how you feel right now and what this practice has done for you. I'm seeing peaceful, blessed, lighter, seen, peaceful, peaceful, relieved, refreshed, lighter, cleansed, reconciliation, release, understood, relieved, awakened, stubbornly alive, indeed, Kate, relieved. The M is in magic, the M in magic. After crying my eyes out, oh, Yuta, thank you for sharing that. Lighter, relieved, fantastic, fantastic. Pat on your back for taking the time to make yourself the number one on your priority list, for showing up for yourself and saying that this is my time, despite all the other things that the world wants to pull me in 1,000 different directions. It always starts with filling my teacup, and that's what we do here. Sunday Morning Joy with Jay. We've been doing this, like I said, 6 years and running. This has become a ritual. This has become a beautiful tribe around the world. And we continue to help each other walk ourselves home. So, folks, I'd like to invite you to go ahead and ask any questions, anything that you want to clarify. Thank you so much. So beautiful. I'm so glad. So, these are topics, by the way, this is a good point for me to illustrate here, that I have been receiving several topics that you wanted me to create meditations on. And I have one more already scheduled for next week. But after that, it's a green open field. So I invite you to go ahead and nominate some topics, drop some things that are like this, a little bit uncomfortable, but yet need to be healed and addressed. Go ahead and drop it in, you have my WhatsApp group. I know many, many of you are part of it. If you're not part of it, you can find it on my Inside Timer profile. You can join the group, and then there is a lively, thriving community around the world. It's about 3-something hundred people. And you can drop in your nominations there. Okay, so there's a question here. Evelyn says, how do you help grieve with someone who feels like they have lost all their friendships in their world? This is an interesting question. I mean, all friendships is a very dire, it's a very conclusive statement. I don't think that there is a situation where you truly lost every single connection. I mean, unless there is something that is triggering from you that is making people run away. That's a question that I wonder if it is something more psychotic, something that is more psychological than reality, right? Sometimes we get into that state of depression where we believe that this world is completely collapsing and it's crumbling and nobody cares about us, nobody loves us. Oftentimes that's not true. So I question the premise of that, what you're asking there, Evelyn. So maybe finding a therapist, talking to somebody who can be a psychologist, talking to somebody who can be a counselor. That may be the first step there to first of all address if that premise that you mentioned there is even true. So that's my recommendation there. Yeah, and thank you very much. Thank you all for those of you who made those donations without even me asking. Old folks have to deal with that too. Yes, old and young. Yeah, I think, like as we said, we continue to evolve, and these relationships come and go. You know, there's this famous proverb: "We come and go alone." We come into this world and go out of this world with our palms open. And let's stay that way. Let's understand that. And the clinging is what causes the suffering, as I mentioned in the meditation. Okay, narcissistic tendencies, yes. And sometimes those narcissistic tendencies are very interesting. It's because the person who is the one causing the hurt and the pain to others doesn't necessarily feel that for themselves. They think they're just completely fine, they're completely normal, they're doing what is right, and they are projecting this suffering onto others. So again, it's something for us to introspect and say, where is this hurt coming from? Am I taking on somebody else's behavior without putting my healthy boundaries? By the way, I do these classes every other week, but there are tons of classes, tons of topics that I have recorded. One of them is this whole topic around healthy boundaries. In fact, I have a course on Inside Timer. If you haven't checked it out, that's a course that I highly recommend, because many cultures around the world don't even talk about this, let alone you being exposed to this idea. They think it's like a taboo subject. There's no such thing as boundaries. But I think it's so very important, especially in a world where we don't necessarily live with our families, our tribes, our communities that we were born into, that somehow form a cushion, even in the worst of times, even when people completely violate our boundaries. We live in times when we move away, we go for work, we go for education, we migrate across the globe, and then we are left there with ourselves to deal with these infringements. So highly recommend that you look up my course on boundaries, which is, I think it talks a little bit about this comment that just came through. Okay, folks, it feels like I've addressed all your concerns. You seem like a content bunch. I hope you go ahead and share this practice. Like I said, this is recorded today, so this will be available for you to go back and revisit the entire meditation. So there's two parts. I keep the entire three-part, the breath work, the chanting, meditation piece as an hour long, but also I have my assistant who cuts just the meditation bit into today's about 10-15 minutes, and I intentionally made it short so that it's accessible for people who are dealing with the suffering of heartbreak. So that will also become available in about a week or so. So look out for that. I'll post all of that on my WhatsApp group, my Soul Tribe. And if you don't know where to find it, go to my Inside Timer profile and you will see a link to join it. And then I have to look at it and approve it. Okay? With that, and from all the love in the bottom of my heart, I wish you all have an amazing week ahead. Go shine this light amongst your friends, family, your community. And until I see you all again, same time, same place in a couple of weeks, be well.